Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m. mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Israeli military has launched a retaliatory strike against Iran. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. U.S. officials confirm missiles have struck a number of locations inside Iran, with no word yet on whether there were any casualties. Several explosions were reported near an airbase in the Iranian city of Isfahan, home to a number of sites linked to Iran's nuclear program. Ohio has the highest tornado count in the nation so far this year. The National Weather Service says there have been 35 confirmed twisters in the Buckeye State in 2024. The count does not include the tornadoes that were spawned across Ohio as storms swept through this past Wednesday afternoon, and that's estimated to be 5 more. And the Portage County Animal Protective League is asking for donations after 9 horses were seized this week from a local barn. The owner is being cooperative with the investigation, but Focus Rescue has taken possession of the horses. I'll be right back with sports and weather.
Pursue your passion of shepherding, teaching, and ministry leadership with a Master of Divinity from Moody Theological Seminary. Study systematic theology, pastoral practices, learn to analyze Scripture through the lens of the original Hebrew and Greek texts. Take classes when and how it's most convenient for you, on campus in Chicago or Plymouth, Michigan, or online wherever you are. Get started today at moody.edu/mdiv, moody.edu/mdiv.
In sports, the Guardians top the Red Sox 5-4, and the Cavaliers hit the hardwood tomorrow afternoon for the opening round of the NBA playoffs. The team tips off against the Magic at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for the first of a 7-game series. Here now is your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Cloudy, showers with a slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, or rather this morning. Our high temperature should be around 60 degrees. At last check, cloudy and 63 in Cleveland, 59 in Akron and Canton, and 59 degrees in Ashtabula as well.
It's time for your Moron Moment.
If you have ever watched an Ohio State football game halftime show, you have seen the band march in a line and spell out Ohio. Script Ohio made its debut on October 24, 1936, at a game between the Buckeyes and the Pitt Panthers. The Buckeyes won the game 7-0, and from that day on, the best darn band in the land tradition has continued. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 6:03 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting live from the Bob Devine Studio. It's Mornings with Brian. Want to join the conversation? Call or text now at 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
It's 6:06. It's Friday. Huh, it feels like I just saw you and Daria, Lauren.
Yes.
Kind of did.
Really? Ooh. Well, we've got a guest in studio that's touching all the buttons. That's what
The
just
wrong
happened.
So sorry.
With us today, Pastor Scott Lessig.
Hey.
What did you do?
I thought
He
that
touched
was my
the speaker
headphones.
button
I
instead
thought
of
it
the
was.
headphones
Yeah,
button.
sorry.
I'll just do that right now.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Don't ever invite me in again, or don't let me sit here.
You're one of our favorites.
I'm sorry I touched that.
No, trust me, they don't. I have buttons that don't even work because they're worried about me touching buttons. So I understand the feeling. Watch this. You see, then you can verify this. There's 5 buttons right here.
Yeah. None of them work.
Nope.
They
Nothing
disengaged all of them.
Yeah, years ago when the studio was remodeled, it was like, hey, Brian, we've got this panel for you. What would you like these buttons to do? I must have given a list of things I'd like these buttons to do 4 times.
And there's nothing.
And it's all, I think everybody snickers when I leave the room. Like, oh, he thinks we're actually gonna do this.
What was your list of demands?
That's a good question.
Is it a good question? Thanks, Lauren.
Yes,
I think
it
that's
is.
the main question.
Well, I wanted.
It is.
Ron, I'm trying to remember because I had to come up with them so many times. Well, I had like
one
of them.
was going to play a rim shot.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
I'm surprised Josh hasn't taken away your bell yet.
What's that? I wanted one of them to if Ron is busy or whatever, like sometimes we have to cut songs or we play the next, Ron pushes the button, play the next thing. We thought it might be helpful if I had the ability to do that with buttons. Doesn't that sound nice?
It sounds nice, for sure. Yeah.
No, that never happened, and it never will. I've discovered that it was all just a ruse.
Just to get you here.
And then they hired Lauren, and now I can do nothing. You're like, yeah, well, it's kind of how that works. No, but we had an event last night. It was so great.
It was.
Dr. Josh Moody, it was a dessert reception at Bedford Church of the Nazarene. I'd never been there. It was a beautiful place.
And you all are here.
Yeah, we work hard, Scott Lessing. It's tough, but somebody has to work hard.
Yep. It's got to be us, apparently.
Yeah. Lauren, do you have any feels about yesterday?
It was great. I don't know what you want me to say.
When I've talked to her about that was the experience for me when I said, "Hey, you bought your first house. Congratulations. How does it feel?" Silence. I'm like,
That's
it's
not
fine.
true. I wasn't silenced. I said it feels good.
Just like that though. Like, can you remember when you bought your first house?
Oh,
Scott?
yeah. We were very excited.
Like, what did that see? Did you actually show it to people that
Of
you
course.
were excited? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people would have noticed you're excited.
If we had Facebook back then, we would have been posting it all over the place.
I'm still more excited than Lauren almost a year later.
Wow. What can I say?
It's been like 6 months.
Okay, so, well, whatever. Time. Who's keeping track? Not me. So this event was fantastic. I walked right in the door well before Lauren.
I
Josh.
walked in. Actually, I walked in the door before you. You sat in your car because you arrived early.
Oh,
I carried in
So-
lots of things, Ron. I carried in a lot of things,
You
Lauren.
You did.
I usually pretend like I'm busy, but don't actually do anything.
Yeah.
He just waited to do that at the end. So our boss carried all of our boxes out.
We were talking to the public.
You were talking to Josh Moody.
He's a partner in ministry. It's very important. I was talking to Reverend Dr. Josh Moody. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then as our boss walked away carrying 2 large boxes, as he was a little bit too far away to do anything about it, I yelled out, "You doing okay? You need any help with that?" And you laughed, Lauren. You laughed because you thought you were doing the same thing right next to me.
You're going to make me carry boxes?
The first event that I did with these guys, I was setting up the table and carrying heavy things, and Josh and Brian are just like
No, they did not.
chatting away.
No,
like,
they didn't.
2 feet away from me. And so Brian sees me struggling with this box, and after it's like the big issue is just like grabbing it. Once I have it, I'm fine. But so after I finally have it, he's like, "Oh, let me help you." I'm like, "I've got it now."
What a loser.
Oh.
What a loser.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
Let's review. The primary function of my job is to
You tell me.
talk.
Okay.
What was I doing?
You could sure talk yourself
Talking
out of
to who?
helping me with boxes.
Oh, that's so good. You two are so quick. That's pretty fun. Anyway, forget all that. Just I walked in the front door. You're nervous having to see what these two are very
I'm
intimidating.
loving it. I think it's fantastic. I'm
very
not nervous at all. I think it's so good the way that Lauren's responding. It's really fun to watch your reaction.
But so I walked in right away. First person I meet, I get a dad joke.
That's good. You love that.
You're waiting. Go ahead, Lauren. You want to start with that?
He wrote it down.
I didn't want to forget it.
He had to write it down.
What
Must
was
be
it?
good.
Do you want to share it now?
As a matter of fact, Scott Lessing, I would like to share it now. Let me make sure I get it right because I did write it down. I told her sometimes you got to write things down. Remember.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Thank you. See, the
I have a
pastor-
list
You got a list
in my notes.
of
yeah.
jokes?
No, no.
No, okay, that's too
Usually
bad.
mine are like
No, that's
theological
weird.
thoughts.
So, hey, Ron. Let's ask Ron. He loves dad jokes.
Yes.
Hey, Ron. Where do you keep the dad jokes?
I keep it in my brain, but I know that's probably not the answer.
No, it's not the answer. Pastor Scott, do you
I
know
have no idea.
where do you keep the dad jokes?
I don't know.
In the dad base.
Oh,
Oh, it's so great. I wrote it down, and Lauren was offended that I wrote it down.
No, I was just shocked.
Shocked, yeah.
It was mildly funny because it came from Rachel.
Yes, not from you.
Thank you, Rachel. I told her I would tell the joke today. I just did because it was a great joke.
right off the bat.
Right
Yeah,
out of the
he
gate.
didn't
I'm
hold
proud
that.
of you.
He didn't hold on to that.
No, I can't hold on to things like that. And so we had a wonderful time meeting. So many people came. It was just fantastic. I noticed a couple of things. One of them was everybody has thoughts about my face.
Oh, did they?
Now, I didn't have a sign up that said, please give me your opinion about the length of my beard.
Oh, you don't need that.
No,
No.
especially as a
offered.
person, and I'm sure you get this as a pastor.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, you got a haircut. Don't do that again.
Right.
You've had that?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. About a lot of things.
Like what?
They comment about your shirt or, why do you always wear a vest?
That's
You know,
weird.
things
People
like-
say that to you?
Oh, for sure.
And so what's your answer to that question? Why do you always wear a vest, Pastor Scott? Because you like them?
It makes me feel more comfortable.
And you
It's
probably,
a great answer.
like I'm thinking, it makes your core warmer.
No, that's not why I wear it all the time.
He just likes them.
I like them.
Is that a good enough answer for the public?
No.
or-
No.
Yeah, I had a lot of people look at me straight and go, okay, right there, the way you got it. That's the way we're going to keep that. We like that. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, well. I think I don't have much of a choice. Lauren even had an opinion that she tried to hide from me. Did you know that?
What
Wow.
Just yesterday
what's
on the
the
show.
opinion?
She did one of those things she does to I've heard you do this to Eddie, where you're like, oh, so you're going to get a haircut and a beard trim. We're going to be trimming that beard today?
It's just a question.
She has an opinion about what she would like to happen, but she won't tell him. And so what did you say to me?
I don't remember.
It was like,
Oh, I was talking about how I saw a video of what your beard used to be like in January.
yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, I forgot it looked like that.
And I could tell. And then she
That's all I
stared at me
said.
like I'm holding back. And so I said, oh. So what
Forgot
would
it
you
looked like
think
that.
of that? You have an opinion about it, don't you? And then she couldn't get out of the corner she placed herself in. She does have an opinion. She would like it to not be that long again.
Okay. That doesn't mean I'm going to,
But that,
it's not
that
your,
shouldn't be
that's your
offensive.
choice.
The why could be offensive. So you need to ask, why don't you want it to be that long? again?
Hey, Lauren, why don't you want it to be that long again?
I think your face looks nice this way.
Do you accept that answer, Pastor?
Well,
Is it honest, do you think?
well, I think it's very honest.
That was
but,
kind of a compliment.
We're having colleague
well,
counseling.
it could be a compliment, but then that means that she didn't like the way your face looked before.
No, I just didn't know what it looked like. I'd never seen it like this before.
Lauren, was it difficult to look at my face that long?
No,
Did you want to come over and cut the beard?
no.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That's scary.
That would have been awesome.
I would have been defenseless. Her with scissors approaching me, it's over. I'm like, I'd probably collapse into a ball and start crying. You know?
So do you want to know what happened to me at prison recently?
Yes.
Comments?
Mm-hmm.
So I trimmed my mustache a little
Okay.
too short one day. Have you ever done that?
Oh, no.
I'm very nervous about it.
I
so
know.
I'm very careful.
So
I don't think I've done it because I'm so scared.
I used a new trimmer,
Oh, sure.
right? And so I'm trimming, and then it wasn't short enough. So I trimmed and as soon as I did it, I was like, oh,
Yeah. Oh no.
and what do you do? Like, you're not going to shave the whole thing off,
No.
right?
Can't put it back.
No. So I had to make it all the same. Well, I went in, and one of the guys,
no.
Joseph. Good morning, Joseph. he says to me, "You look like Thanos." Do you guys know who Thanos is?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know who Thanos was.
He's a very horrific looking alien.
So
Yeah.
I immediately pull up who is Thanos, and I look it up, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Do I really?"
Don't hold back, Joseph.
Right.
You know?
Thank you.
Let's be
Thank you very
honest.
much, Joseph.
I do
Right?
not know who Thanos is.
I had no idea who Thanos
Look
was.
at that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so I came home, and I'm like, "Guys, do I look like this?"
Well, see,
Everyone's
now,
like,
what's
no.
Yeah. Well, who did you
Right.
ask, though?
Oh, wow. That's
My
funny.
kids and my wife.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you if you
Wow.
look like Thanos.
That's funny.
Brian, do I look like Thanos?
No. You look like Captain America.
Oh, whatever.
That's who you look
no,
like.
Captain America
Did you
does
see
not
how
wear
quickly
vests.
that rolled off the tongue, though?
Yeah.
It's sincerity just flowing.
Okay.
I did some sincerity yesterday, and we had a lot of laughs at our little presentation at the front. But ooh. Did you catch when I got one of those to my comment?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Daria?
I don't.
You put my donkey on blast yesterday.
Oh, because he bit my belly?
Yes.
That's his own fault.
He was a child.
And he bit my child. So
And he kind of
Wait, he bit your belly when you were pregnant?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
calm
sense.
down. Was there a mark, Lauren?
I don't know.
No, there wasn't. That's the answer.
You
to
don't know that.
It was just a little. I don't know what this is.
No, it wasn't just
No,
a
he'd never seen a pregnant woman. My donkey, and
Well, he knew. He was trying to talk to the baby.
well, and it's like he'd go. I wonder what that is. I can't touch it. I don't have hands.
Right?
My hooves have no feelings.
Why couldn't he have rubbed his nose on it though?
And so
That's much less aggressive.
he probably did that, and
He
she
bit my
probably
belly.
did something rude. So he's like,
No.
all I have to do
trying to
is
care for him in
feel
your absence.
with my face.
Right.
And so he just kind of, moved his face around. But so what I said was,
You were not there. You cannot say what he did or didn't do. You were not
leave
there.
my donkey alone.
Then
Did-
tell him not to bite me.
Did he like literally bite you,
Yes.
or was it just his lips?
No, it wasn't just his lips. It was a nibble.
Wow.
Well, so do you remember what I said on stage?
No.
I says he really has a sense about people.
yeah.
And everybody went,
Oh.
You're scary a little bit.
Not to him. I was very nice.
How do you know?
Because I know myself. I was very nice to him.
I'm scared
Is
right
that
now.
the first donkey you were ever around?
Not ever around, but had to take care of, yes.
Oh, you took care of the donkey.
Yes.
She stayed at my place for a week when Sarah and I were out of town with the kids.
Maybe he was upset at you.
Maybe he was upset Brian left, so maybe it's Brian's fault.
Or maybe, just maybe, you didn't feed him the right way and he wanted to remind you.
Maybe.
Maybe he was a
gave
little
him his mints.
nervous. He doesn't know you.
I gave him his mints and I brushed his hair.
And you have an intimidating presence.
Your donkey eats mints?
Well, he did. And then I got in trouble for that. So you're not supposed to do that, I guess.
Oh.
Well, he loved them. You know those ones that grandmas have in their purse and you're a little suspicious about eating them?
The Starlight mints.
Yeah, like it's at the bottom of the purse. You don't know how long it's been there. You're not sure if it was in someone's mouth before. And just, here, have a mint, We had a whole thing of those because they're like, 5 cents. And we'd give him one every once in a while. He loved it. I guess you're not supposed to do that with a dog.
Why?
Oh, sad.
Is that like
Little
grapes
treats.
with dogs?
No, I don't think it's that serious. It's just
Little
more
treats.
like donkeys aren't supposed to have all that sugar, I guess. So they get fat or I don't know. They already look fat to me, but it's kind of how they're built. Lauren's telling me it's time to take a break. Here we go. It's 6:20. Time for a quick break. It's Follow Up Friday, 440-546-2255.
You see a huge group of people and maybe they're in line to do something and they seem happy about it. You have to wonder, okay, what am I missing? What's going on here? What are these people excited about? Well, in this case, it's thousands of people and they're joining Medishare. Why? Well, Medishare is a much more affordable alternative to health insurance. It's reliable, too. It's a well-run community of Christians. They've been sharing each other's medical expenses for more than 30 years, so it's proven. And if you switch, you'll likely save hundreds of dollars a month. Most members wind up paying about half what they used to. And you know what? They find they like it better. Medishare's member satisfaction rate is 98%. That's way better than health insurance, as you might imagine. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. You get telehealth 24/7, huge freedom in choosing your doctors. At least check into it. This may be one of those things where you're like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Why not start saving now? Call 877-58-BIBLE. That's 877-58-BIBLE. 877-58-BIBLE.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-659-9838. That's 1-800-659-9838.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake me up before you go. Shake me to wake me.
Here we are on a follow-up Friday, 6:22 in studio all morning. Our good friend Pastor Scott Lessing, president of the Wham fan club and also prison campus pastor at Lorraine Correctional for Grace Church in Middleburg Heights.
What's the Wham fan club?
Well, he just played "Wake Me Up Before You Go." I feel like that's kind of, you're like, all right, guys, join me in my favorite song here at prison.
No.
Wake me up before you go. No,
No, that is definitely not it. No.
Okay, well, I could be mistaken. I thought I'd heard that. All right, if
Before
you're wondering,
you go any farther,
Yeah,
there's
the
weird
sound.
noises happening in the studio, Brian. What are they?
you have are you hand grinding beans? We're going to be sampling some coffee this morning during the show, and Lauren has decided that no, regular ways to make coffee are far too simple.
Right.
Are you doing a pour over?
I'm doing an AeroPress.
Ooh,
AeroPress.
fancy.
Like I'd never even heard of that until Lauren started working here.
So what's an AeroPress?
Not a clue.
Is
You
this
put
something
it in
your
this
husband?
thing,
And it makes coffee.
and it makes coffee.
Like in my day, we had two options: percolator, which no one understands to this day.
Grandma used percolators.
Yeah, do you get it? I don't know how that works.
Sure. Yeah, I have a percolator.
You know how they work?
Yeah, I use a percolator.
What does it do? You just put it in there and
It's
it
a camping
percolates.
percolator. Yeah, it boils and pushes the water up over the
Over the
beans,
grounds.
The grounds. Yeah.
I still don't get it. And then there's the drip one.
Yeah.
Where it drips over the top. That's what I know. But now we have an AeroPress, and we have
Or
multiple.
cowboy. Have you ever done cowboy coffee?
It sounds rugged.
It is.
I don't get it.
Ron, have you ever done cowboy coffee?
I've had it out west.
It's just you just boil water, you throw coffee in it, and then you just scoop off the top the coffee, the ready to drink liquid, and all the beans or all the grounds settle to the bottom.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I felt like a cowboy.
Let's not
Yeehaw.
forget that I'm permanently scarred because Pastor Scott purchased the type of coffee, rare type of coffee that is first digested by cats. Let's put it that way. Yes, the beans are digested by cats, and then you put it in your mouth. And he'd made me have that.
Well, they washed them off, Brian. Before, I mean, the cat poops them out, but then they wash them off, and then they roast them. So the roasting process purifies the beans, I think, and then
You think?
I can't claim that to be true. And then they grind them, and it was delicious, though, wasn't it?
Traumatic is the word I would
No, it
use.
wasn't traumatic until after you found out. When you drank it,
As soon as I sipped it, you all started laughing at me and said, "You're drinking cat poo."
I don't know if we said cat poo.
Something close to it. Daria, you have my back on this. You have,
I know
please.
it's actually not cats. It's a type of primate, I think, unless there's a different one that uses cats. But I'm not.
There's the primate one. The one we used was cats.
It was legit cats.
Yeah.
Daria.
Not like big cats.
Have my back. Daria, please.
I would probably try it.
It was very expensive.
I'm alone. Help me.
But wasn't it good? It
I
wasn't
mean,
bad.
I don't remember. All I could think about was the cats. I don't remember.
It
Did
was
you
delicious.
like it?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
But it wasn't worth the cost. That was my evaluation of
It
it.
was very expensive, right? Because, that's quite the process, as they say.
Well, cleaning it was the process.
Daria, you should try it at home. You got a lot of cats.
I don't think I can feed my cats coffee beans. They would drive me insane.
You should try it.
I'm not going to.
You said you would, though.
Yeah, I said I would try a cup. I'm not going to try to make it at home.
Oh, okay. Bummer. Too bad. All right. 440-546-2255. It's Follow-Up Friday. Pastor Scott Lessing with us all morning. We're going to review the week's topics here in just a couple of minutes because I know there's some Pastor Scott wants to dig into. But I will say it's a very special week for the Car Seat Questions podcast as our resident chemist here who's still massaging the coffee over there.
No, it's done. I just have to put in each of our individual cups. Thank you very much.
It smells good. I can smell it from in here.
Wow.
I'm in another room for the record, and I think it smells good.
Well, you have a very special Car Seat Questions podcast this week, Lauren Cuevas.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Tell us about it.
Our special guest is, drumroll, please, Pastor Scott Lessing. Yay!
You are so big time.
Big time. It's a big show, though.
No, I love their podcast.
Yeah.
I've heard people at Grace Church listen to it.
Yes. Yeah, we promote it in Grace Kids.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And so what did you guys talk about? Like prison?
It was fun. No, we did not talk about prison. That
Thanks
would
for
have been
listening,
that
Brian.
would have been interesting.
I'm saving it.
Thanks for listening.
It's pretty brutal on me.
I listened to your
awesome
entire
on you.
podcast.
Lauren.
Can't get a whole episode out of you.
Lauren,
Yes.
stop.
We talked about God's grace. How do you explain God's grace to kids?
And I heard the whole team behind the scenes was wowed by Pastor Scott
Yeah, they
Lessing.
were.
I don't know about that.
Yes, they were. Caleb and Carter, yes, they were.
What happened?
They
You wanna
popped
describe
right
it?
back onto the screen. They're like, so, Pastor Scott, do you have a podcast?
You remember that?
They did say that.
They haven't done
yeah.
that to anybody else.
No, they haven't.
Wow.
You're big time,
You
Pastor
are big
Scott
time.
Lessing.
And they said,
No, I'm not big
you
time.
just have like the podcast voice and vibe. That's
What's
what they
the
said.
podcast
That's what they said.
voice?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's your voice. That's what it is. So there you go. Check out the Car Seat Questions podcast.
Yeah,
you can
wherever
find
you
out
find your podcasts.
and at our website, moodyradio.org/Cleveland. And Pastor Scott will help you understand how to talk about grace with
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to listen and go, he does have a podcast voice. / this guy is a stud. Oh, thank you for the coffee, Lauren.
Ooh, that does smell good.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to review the week's topics here momentarily. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through them, and we'll continue sampling coffee that you can't have any. And we'll have a great time together all the way till 9 a.m.
Yes.
Stick around. It's Follow-Up Friday on Mornings with Brian, WCRF.
Those that cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. I'm Darcy Harrod, and this is Pause for Prayer. We find these words in Jonah 2:8, after Jonah struggled with letting go of his idols of pride and hate. In the Old Testament, an idol was something other than God that a pagan society worshipped. But an idol can be anything we listen to, want, love, or need to have more than God. Jonah hated that God wanted to help the sinful Ninevite people so much that he would rather say no to God than to do what God asked him to. But it was when he finally let those idols go that he saw God's grace. Let's pause for prayer. Heavenly Father, I come before you fully aware that I'm clinging to worthless idols, and I don't want to. I want to experience everything you have for me here on earth. But Lord, over and over again, I find myself being tempted to put other things before you. Please give me wisdom to know when I'm taking a good gift of yours and turning it into something more. As Psalm 119:37 says, turn my eyes away from worthless things. Preserve my life according to your word. Please remind me and everyone listening to the sound of my voice not to chase after things that we think will make us happy. Rather, remind us that true joy really does come from you alone. My life verse is, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33. Help me actually live it, Lord. And when life tempts me to chase after anything other than you, remind me of your faithfulness Help me to let go of worthless idols and only cling to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
When CareNet conducted a national survey of hundreds of women who'd had an abortion, a stunning statistic emerged. 4 out of 10 women who'd chosen abortion were regularly attending a church at the time. Abortion isn't just an out there issue in the community, it's inside the church. Making Life Disciples is an exclusive CareNet curriculum designed to equip churches to provide compassion, hope, help, and discipleship to women and men considering abortion. Making Life Disciples is a simple, easy-to-access training that allows your church to begin a gospel-centered approach to caring for the abortion vulnerable. Transform your church's response to abortion, form a network of security for people at risk, and become a central point of compassion in your community. Learn more about the Making Life Disciples curriculum at care-net.org. Search Making Life Disciples at care-net.org.
Are you looking for candid conversation from a biblical perspective? You found it. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
.635 on WCRF. That's David Crowder. We got Pastor Scott Lessing in studio with us. He's prison campus pastor for Grace Church in Middleburg Heights and a good friend of the show.
And president
of the Wham fan club.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I was like, of
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
I always feel bad for the other guy besides
Right.
George Michael. Who's the
George
other
Michael
guy?
and Andrew
something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody
Andrew
knows.
something.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows. He did, what did he do? Nothing. Except Wham. That was a lot, I guess.
He made Michael who he was.
There you go. Well, it's kind of like Hall & Oates. Like Daryl Hall. Awesome guy. Great singer. What does John Oates do? Play guitar? I don't know.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Paul Simon and Art
Yeah.
Garfunkel just is tall and has a afro.
Yeah, and he sang songs that John wrote. John? What did you say? Paul wrote.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. John, Paul, whatever. Beatles, somebody. Okay, it's Follow-Up Friday here. What do you want to talk about? 440-546-2255. We got a pastor right here with us, so if maybe you have a pastoral question, church question, theological question.
Prison question.
Yeah, whatever it is, marriage, parenting, something. He'll answer it. And make it as hard as you can, quite frankly.
I do have a prison question.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in Grafton, there's the Lorraine Correctional Institute.
Yep.
There's also the Grafton Honor Farm, and there's another correctional institute. What's the difference among the three of them?
Yeah, so Grafton Correctional Institution, GCI, and then there's GRC, Grafton Reintegration Center. And both of those are across the street from Lorraine. And then you have Lorraine Correctional. Lorraine Correctional is a APA facility, the parole violators. Anyone north of Dayton, Columbus corridor, they would come to our prison, and they spend 9 months or less in our prison. They violated their parole. And then Grafton Correctional is a long-term facility. And then Grafton Reintegration Center is for guys who are going to be leaving prison anytime in the next 2 years or so. And there's a lot of programming there to help them reintegrate into society.
Okay.
There you go. See, he can answer questions.
That was a
Look at this
great
guy.
question, Ron. Thank you.
He's got lots of great questions, that Ron Eastwood. 440-546-2255. By the way, special thanks to Yada Yada Coffee in Cuyahoga Falls.
That's right.
For the custom blends we're trying this morning. So thank you, Yada Yada Coffee.
Yes, my friend Tommy, who I met at New Day Cleveland Green Room.
Yeah, this is what happened. We were waiting to go on New Day Cleveland, and he was hanging out there just being a coffee stud. And we're just standing there, and Ron, you were just schmoozing it up with everybody.
Yeah. Our sales rep, Ben Marr, came in, and I was chatting with him, and then I misinterpreted the name of a
this is great.
company.
Before you do that, so if you watched that hour we were on of New Day Cleveland, there was two women on from the Cleveland Lymphatic Society.
Yes.
Lymphatic therapy.
Whatever.
Society.
I don't know what they're doing.
Lymphatic Society.
I asked them twice what they do, and they were so nervous about going on TV, they didn't tell me. So, lymphatic what?
Lymphatic therapy.
There you go. That. And
That's your lymph nodes and a few other related systems.
I was like, so what? You massage people's lymph nodes? What is that? I don't know. And they were just like, they were nervous. They were awesome, super nice, but they were nervous. But Ron went up. He was the first one to talk to him, and they had jackets on that had
my gosh.
the Lymphatic Society
therapy.
I don't work there.
Did you really ask him if they massage people's lymph nodes?
Yes.
I believe he did.
No wonder they were nervous. They didn't know how to respond to that question.
Well, I was trying to figure out what they do.
That's hilarious.
And they had like a kind of a cursive script on their jackets. And so Ron walked up to break the ice.
Yes, I did. And I said, "Oh, Cleveland Symphonic Therapy. What is that?"
Right away, they're like, "Oh, great. I told you can't read this."
Did they say that?
Yes. Awesome. Somebody picked the font, and it looked like, I was thinking with Ron, I was like, yeah, this is fascinating. Are you playing symphonies for people as like music therapy? It looked like symphonic.
Yeah, to Ron's credit,
It really did.
From about 3 feet away, it really looked like that.
So there's that.
Symphonic therapy.
But I wasn't to be defeated.
Fantastic.
I went on to the next fellow who came in and introduced myself, and it turns out it was Tommy from Yada Yada, and that's who we wanted to hook up with anyway.
And then Yada Yada Yada.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the name. That's a cool name.
It's great. Yeah.
Is that Yiddish?
It's a good question. Well, yeah, it's from a Seinfeld episode where you don't have to tell stories. You just go, so we went last night to Bedford Church of the Nazarene for Dr. Josh Moody, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I went home.
In prison, they don't say yada, yada, yada. They say boom, boom, boom.
Oh.
But it means the same thing.
Right, yeah.
I've always been fascinated how...
Boom, boom, boom coffee.
I've been fascinated how many, it's really like a different vernacular for you guys in prison. Like the whole baloney face bit, which, guys, by the way, if you're listening in Lorraine Correctional, there is no baloney face right here.
Not anymore.
This is a rugged, long-haired face. Scott!
It's getting longer.
But this is not a baloney face.
It's not a baloney face. No.
Thank you.
No.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
Maybe they could make a roast. Yada Yada could make a roast for Lorraine Correctional. and call it boom, boom, boom?
I mean, if I were in charge, that's an easy yes. But what am I in charge of, Lauren?
Nothing.
What's our friend's name at yada, yada, yada?
Tommy. I can get you connected.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
All right, so here's some topics we discussed this week. Let's see which ones you want to talk about. 440-546-2255. 8 signs you love legalism more than Jesus. Love legalism more than Jesus. This one's a heartbreaker for me. We may dig into this a bit because I think there's people who listen to me say that title and they go, oh, yeah, that's terrible that people love legalism more than Jesus. And that person loves legalism more than Jesus, and they don't know it.
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaker.
But I think a lot of people have gone through a phase of legalism.
Yeah.
Dare I say most.
Yeah.
I think people early in their Christian faith go through that phase almost.
For sure.
And even our friend Nancy Kane, which sometimes this is called the Nancy Show, she wrote a book called Stages of the Soul. Stage 2 is where she said most Christians stay most of their life, which is a rules-based view of
For sure.
of faith.
Yeah.
Follow the rules, and God's happy with you.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's not how it works. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Another article, a mother-in-law was pushing religion on a guy's newborn baby. As in, like, they had particular religious ceremonies they wanted to have done. And this guy's like, I don't want to we decided not to raise our kids this way. But mother-in-law is very upset about this. And he doesn't know what to do to kind of like say, mother-in-law, back off. It's not your baby. So we chatted through that relationship. It's a tough one.
That's a really hard one.
You want to chat about your mother-in-law at all? Or you?
I love my mother-in-law.
Exactly. Me too.
I have a great relationship with my mother-in-law.
Me too.
Kathy.
Is she listening?
No.
Okay.
No.
And then Catholic Charities in Wisconsin by the Wisconsin Supreme Court, had their tax-exempt status for a specific tax. And off the top of my head, I can't remember which specific tax it was. Unemployment tax. They had their unemployment tax exemption removed.
But it wasn't the church.
It
was Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities.
Right.
Yeah, it was a parachurch organization. Correct, yeah. And it was on a technicality. That particular Wisconsin law has 2 different qualifications to be exempt.
Correct.
And the Supreme Court ruled in a close ruling that they don't meet those requirements.
Right.
So it made a lot of...
Based on definitions.
Right.
Right.
And so it made a lot of parachurch organizations nervous.
Right.
About what that could mean. And we chatted through that, whether we're nervous about it.
Well, I think it will definitely affect parachurch organizations.
Yeah, and then our conversation more surrounded okay, let's say it does, then what?
Right.
Because usually what you hear in public discourse among Christians on this is somewhat, and this is me gently saying it, henny penny, like the sky's falling. We're all going to die.
You're right.
If this is removed. Now, it would be unpleasant, but what happens to the gospel if tax-exempt status is removed? As unpleasant as that would be, what happens to the gospel?
It doesn't stop.
Yeah, nothing.
Amen.
Right.
Nothing happens to like the Christian faith and our ability to share it.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Right.
So
Two things are guaranteed in life.
Death and taxes.
Right. And that's a great segue.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right?
I was like, wait, where's he going? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then we talked about, as gently as possible, we didn't talk about names because we don't want to make it about that. You may want to talk about this one a little bit. There's a particular pastor who is now 89 years old.
I heard you guys talking about this one.
Yeah, and they've hired his successor, and his successor will not be preaching. He'll do everything else. And the 89-year-old pastor is going to keep going. Until he said his dream is to die while preaching. And we talked about, like the admirable nature of that desire to be an instrument for God's truth and grace. But we were concerned about the wisdom of said desire.
Yeah. I think you guys said it really well.
Thank you.
But it becomes difficult, right? Because where's the line? Like you're getting up there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, just kidding, you're not. How old are you again? 40, 50?
50. 50.
You're a long ways from 89.
Yes. Thank you.
But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, how do you, because what I've noticed too, and Sarah and I have talked about this, it's the scary part of when you're our age, and you encounter someone who's 89 who will tell you they're as sharp as they ever were, you can sense sometimes that that person is not as sharp as they ever were.
Yeah.
But they don't know.
Yeah.
So you lose your self-awareness at some point because of the gradual nature of it.
For sure.
And so can we even be a good judge of our own ability to continue on in what we're doing?
For sure.
I don't think we can.
Well, I mean, even like, how effective would I be preaching or leading a young adults group? I'm getting to the point where I don't know. Whereas somebody who's in their late 30s might be more effective in leading people who are 18 to 29, right?
Yeah, and I'm with you on that only because how often Ron and our station manager Josh and I are chuckled at and corrected by Lauren and Daria.
Right. And it is funny to listen to. It's fun to watch, too.
Like, we'll say things, and they'll be like, oh, no, you did not say that. We'll be like, what? That's what everybody says. And they're like,
Right.
No one says that anymore.
The last time I was on, that's what you guys were talking about.
What did I do?
The trophy wife, was that it?
Yes. I got home and Mo was like, oh, my gosh. No, you can't say trophy wife.
She said that to you?
Yes.
Because you said she is your trophy wife.
Right. And Mo's like, no, you can't say that.
What? See, this is the thing. Mo and my wife, Sarah, if you're listening, why didn't you tell us this?
Well, they didn't know we were going to talk about it on the air.
No, but my wife's heard me say it for years. She goes, oh, I know what you meant. But I'm like, that's not good enough. I mean, if I'm offending people.
That's very Minnesota of Sarah to do.
Well, Mo did the same thing. You must have said it before.
I'm
I love you, Mo, but-
sure I said it. Yeah, for sure.
And she just was like, probably thinking, I know what he meant.
Right.
Why was this a secret from us?
Why didn't you know it?
Hey, guess what? Any trophy I have, I'm proud of it. It's amazing. It has value. It recognizes, like it means so many wonderful, positive things. You all make it look negative. What do you hide your trophies in the closet? You put under a basket? Is that where you hide your trophy?
I don't have trophies, Brian.
Mine are in boxes because I've moved on from high school.
Listen to what she does.
I am letting you have it.
I'm just saying that our interpretation is logical.
For sure.
Although highly irrelevant, ergo, back to your point, we shouldn't be doing youth group.
Right. Right. There's just certain things that I think, like, I don't know, like, can this pastor lead, preach once a month, right? Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, there has to be a transition. You hired a new guy to be the quote-unquote lead pastor, but he's never leading. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it does. And I would even go as far as to say there is a point someone would reach where they shouldn't be preaching once a month because you can't follow what they're saying.
Right. Well, and you gave a great example of a retreat that you
Just
were at.
last weekend, I heard a guy who we celebrated his 90th birthday who's brilliant, and it wasn't effective.
I just threw you off, didn't I?
No, you didn't throw me off. I was trying to think of how to say it without offending someone who's elderly listening because we love you. And I love this guy. I interviewed him. I had amazing stories. What a guy of courage and strength and faith. But he, like all of us chatted afterwards who were listening to his lectures. And we said, all of us agreed, we had no idea what he was talking about. But we resolved because of respect and love to just not try to understand and follow. Just sit back and see what the Lord would give us in the midst of it.
Yeah, you said that, like, the one nugget that you might take from it, right?
Yeah, and I was so proud of my friends because we all had resolved the same. I felt like that was a very loving, appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
But you can't skip over the fact that none of us had any clue what he was talking about.
Right. And maybe, I mean, there's still value, right? I mean, that guy still brings a lot of value, but you can
It
maybe
may not
just
be in the pulpit.
It may be you change the venue, right? Maybe it's an interview. You interview him.
Maybe it's visitation.
Right, yeah.
Because interpersonally, we had a great conversation.
Right. Pastoral care stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pastor Scott, do you think that it could also get confusing with who do people go to as the pastor?
Oh, for sure.
Like if this is our lead pastor who's doing all the like administrative behind the scenes leading, but then this is the person that you see at the pulpit every week.
Yeah. I think, when you talk about pastoral transitions, it's really important that you set the next person up well and you set the congregation up well for the future, right? Because if this guy passes away tomorrow, now you've really made it hard for the congregation to transition their trust, to this person who is now, he has not been in the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people would even say, well, maybe he shouldn't be preaching.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a
haven't given him-
reason
Yeah.
he's been behind the
Mhm.
scenes, right? And so you want to build trust with this new person. You don't want to, make him sit in the corner and, well, until you die, I'm going to be here, just sitting here waiting for you. Like, you want to bring him in and introduce him, and have a typically you would transition over 3 years or 5 years, something like that. We did that. I mean, when we had Pastor Jonathan come in, I think it was 25 years ago, his dad was the senior pastor. And his dad, it was 25% of the preaching Jonathan did, then 50% of the preaching, and then 75%, and then 100%, like he was preaching like 89% of the time. And that was almost a 4-year transition when he came in. And that's a very appropriate way to do it, because you're still honoring the previous pastor.
Mm-hmm.
He's still preaching a lot, but then you're building trust with the new person.
I mean, just like you need to set your family up well for when you're going to be gone. I think you need to set your church up for the same thing. And like you said, Pastor Scott, I think it is, you're going to have the church break apart when a pastor dies if he has not set things up well.
Right.
And I think just like when your parents get older, the roles shift. You kind of become the parent to your own parent. There are seasons to life. And I think there should be seasons to ministry where you get to a point where there's still things you can do for the kingdom, just not that.
Well, and we had to take a quick break. I don't want to miss this spot break and get in trouble with Lauren. Yeah, because I got the look. But when we come back as well, I mean, and the problem still remains that most people I've encountered in these situations, the person who needs to stop something isn't aware that they should.
Right.
And I don't even know how to fix that or how to even change it for myself. 440-546-2255.
Moody Radio's thankful for support from listeners and businesses like Deerfield Ag Services. They help in adaptation of new technologies and techniques of farm and business management. More information about Deerfield Ag and how they can help is at deerfieldagservices.com.
Making assumptions is rarely a good idea. That's true when it comes to thinking healthcare costs can't be affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries has been helping believers meet their healthcare needs for over 40 years. It's not insurance, it's a ministry. Visiting chministries.org/Moody eliminates assumptions and shows how this unique model has worked to meet the healthcare needs of hundreds of thousands of Christians. Get more information and have your questions answered at chministries.org/Moody.
Moody Radio is on the air thanks to support of listeners and Hawkins Sales. They've been serving the electrical industry nationwide for over 30 years. More information about Hawkins Sales is at hawkinssales.com.
You can secure your master's degree in clinical mental health counseling from Moody Theological Seminary. Study at the Chicago or Plymouth, Michigan campuses. Be equipped as a servant leader who can transform your community. The graduating class of 2017 had a 100% job placement and a 100% pass rate on the National Counselor exam. You'll be equipped to meet the needs of others while you reflect the character of Christ. Get started today at moody.edu/counseling. That's moody.edu/counseling.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Monday, I have Friday on my mind.
6:55, we got a follow-up Friday, reviewing the week's topics. We've got Pastor Scott Lessing in studio with us from Grace Church of Middleburg Heights, their prison campus. Thanks, Pastor.
Thanks for letting me be here.
And we love having you here. You've got a podcast voice.
Yeah.
Hashtag stud. He's the featured guest on Car Seat Questions podcast this week. And it's about to break the internet, if you ask me.
Probably.
So get it wherever you get your podcasts and go
We
to our
talked about
website.
pickleball again. Second episode this season, we've talked about pickleball.
I love pickleball.
I don't know.
Pickleball.
Ask
Have
Eddie
you ever
about
played
it.
pickleball?
Pickleball was so big in my Florida community. It was hysterical. Like the older ladies would structure their entire week around pickleball.
I love pickleball.
My best friend who lives in Florida plays pickleball, like weekly with her dad.
It's a Florida thing.
Have you and Eddie played it?
No.
No, I mean, no one's invited me. I can't even tell you know how to play it.
No, I wouldn't know how to play.
You'd be good at pickleball.
Isn't it like
well, I
tennis with a wiffle ball?
And like closer
yeah,
together?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
I think I'd rather just play tennis.
I recall hearing because I'm a nerd and I like listen to podcasts and with pastors on it, made by my friends, things like that. I heard there was all this controversy about people mad about pickleballers taking over courts. There's like this fighting around the country about, all these pickleballers are ruining my fun.
What?
It's become a big thing.
That's weird.
It's very competitive now.
Yeah, in fact, I believe in Garrettsville, they maybe they made pickleball courts and it was a big deal. There's somewhere.
Oh,
You should
there's
go find people
pickleball
to
courts
play.
everywhere. Yeah.
Are there? I mean,
Yeah.
again,
Oh,
no
yeah.
one's invited me. All I know is that my family enjoys eating pickles,
Well, why
which
don't
has no
you guys,
connection whatsoever.
You guys and Eddie go play pickleball.
Yes, with Tommy.
Yeah, with Tommy.
There you go.
Tommy,
All right.
by the way, is from Yada Yada Coffee in Cuyahoga Falls, who's provided us coffee this morning.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Tommy, at Yada Yada Coffee in Cuyahoga Falls. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I don't have the,
you
the
guys-
equipment. Do I need like knee,
Equipment.
do I need knee pads or a helmet or something? Or?
No,
Yes, yes, you do. Yes.
There's no helmets?
I would love if you showed up to play
Full
pickleball
football
with
gear.
a helmet on and knee pads. Oh my gosh,
What do you
that
need?
would be.
What do you need?
A wiffle ball and a racket.
But that's not right, though.
It is, but I want you to wear a helmet.
But Pastor Scott's pretty
Wiffle balls
athletic.
hurt.
Oh my gosh.
And Eddie's pretty athletic, so.
What are you trying to say? Fill in the blank?
Yes.
Do you understand that in my day,
Please, enlighten us.
One day.
I was on the varsity soccer team at Burnsville High
All
School.
right.
I played traveling soccer, Lauren.
Okay. I'm not the one who has
I was
said,
the fastest guy in my team running the
oh,
40.
wow. I hope that speed helps you in pickleball.
Well, I mean, remember this was like 25 years ago. I don't have any speed left.
You
Found
know you're
that.
contradicting yourself. I'm trying to
Excuse
help
me.
you. And you're like, oh, no, wait, I'm not fast.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you that. Saying
Just
I'm
in
not
case.
So you,
athletic.
once upon a time, you did run.
Yes.
That
Aw,
is
that's
correct.
nice.
Thank you, Daria.
What happened?
Are you inviting me to play pickleball?
Absolutely.
Do you have all the equipment for me?
Yes, I've got a helmet. I've got knee pads for you.
He's acting like he's doing like rollerblading or something.
Does Eddie pickleball?
No, he played. I don't know. I don't know them. They're small and you're in a glass thing. You know what I'm talking about? Racquetball. Thank you.
He played that?
He played that a lot. And volleyball.
That one scares me. Whenever it's on movies or TV, someone gets hit in the face with a racquetball. It looks like it hurts.
Oh yeah, it does.
There's a lot of running and swinging.
Yes.
But Eddie does want to play pickleball, so you guys could learn together.
There you go, man.
I
This is
feel
the best way to get Tommy and Eddie to be tight.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a bromance brewing right now.
We know almost nothing about Tommy
I
other
know,
than
we know
other than
nothing
he
about
makes coffee.
Is he
and
athletic?
He's already set up this whole friendship between these two people he barely knows.
Brian desperately wants.
He's
my
Puerto
husband.
Rican. He's got to be athletic.
Ron.
He probably plays baseball, though.
Now, Eddie Cuevas,
Yes.
no, he loves baseball. Eddie Cuevas, your husband, Lauren.
Yes.
He is new in Northeast Ohio.
Yes.
His friends are in a different state,
Yes.
other than me, of course. I
Yes.
consider Eddie my friend.
Mhm.
We're not BFFs yet. We're working on it, but we're friends. I text him. He responds. You know, that's what friends do.
Yes.
And we've gone to Home Depot together.
That's
This is a
That's the
sign.
epitome of
that's
friendship.
friendship.
For a man, I mean, that's like
Yeah.
to say, "Will you go to Home Depot with me?" And the answer is yes.
That's yeah.
They don't understand. They're being silly about it. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a bromance.
Yeah, and I'm worried about Eddie, and he's got this guy Tommy, not just a few blocks away from his house, making coffee. Eddie likes coffee.
Yep.
I feel like best friends are in order.
I'm glad for you. You don't have any say in it.
Did you ever set up friends or anything like on dates or things like that?
Yeah, but that's dating. That's different than just friendship.
And those are generally people that you know. Like you know nothing about Tommy from Yada Yada, and you don't know Eddie all that well either.
So I have a question. Are you doing this so that Eddie has a new friend, or are you doing this so that you get credit for the friendship?
I think Brian just likes to play matchmaker.
I do. I like making other people happy.
There you go.
So sue me, Lauren.
Okay.
We'll call Nathan.
Yeah.
Ooh, Nathan
Zion.
Esquire,
Oh, yeah.
attorney at law. He was
Yes.
on the show this week.
Yes.
He's our attorney.
Why do you need an attorney, Brian?
Well, no, I'm just saying he's on our show, so we can.
So he's our attorney.
Right.
I think it sounds pretty awesome to say, well, I'm talking to my attorney. And,
Yeah, it does.
Sounds like you really matter when you have an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Remember, I work where I work.
yeah, I guess the guys wouldn't necessarily say that's the definition of what makes you matter.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's
not
Jesus.
always.
It's
Pastor
Jesus
Scott.
that makes you matter.
You like frisbee golf, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone
We call
said,
it disc golf though, not frisbee golf.
Okay. Anyways,
Unless you're trying to make fun of disc
Well,
golfers,
la-di-da.
then you call it frisbee golf.
okay, disc golf.
Thank you.
Someone said, I thought Ohioans would reject pickleball more than this, considering frisbee golf is their official sport.
That's
That's Travis from Pittsburgh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pittsburgh knows something
From
about us.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh,
Travis does.
Travis from Pittsburgh thinks he knows Ohio.
Yeah, well.
Where do you find it, Ron?
Here. Find it here, Ohio.
That's our tourism slogan.
Is it really?
Yeah, because it's perfect. What
so
do you
find
find
it,
here?
whatever it is, you find it here?
Exactly.
Do you know that
Wow.
Cleveland is in the top 50 places to go to in the United States?
Stop that, because that statistic is like 2 out of 3 dentists, because there's 50 states, buddy. It's one of the top 50, you said.
Right. Top 50 cities.
Cities? Oh,
in the
okay.
United
I
States.
thought you were trying to make Ohio one of the top 50.
No,
I'm
not
like,
Ohio.
Well, that's not hard. That's what I thought you meant.
Cleveland, no,
messing
Cleveland
with me.
is one of the top 50
Brian's
places to
having-
go to
Cleveland
this
is not
year.
a state, sir.
Where am
or
I?
cities. It was voted one of the top 50 cities to go to this year.
It's the best location in the nation.
Find it
Here,
What's it?
Oh,
you.
That's correct. What else is it?
we've wasted an hour. We have to keep going. We have to keep moving on.
What, does she think she's in charge of me or something?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, well, let's move
Because
on.
I get the text from our boss, not you.
We need to move on from here. It's 7:03. What were you guys distracting me for so long? Also, a story we might revisit here in the next hour. There's more Gen Z leaving the church, Gen Z women leaving the church than men. It's the first time of any generation where there's more women leaving the church than
Yeah,
men.
let's talk about it.
440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and everywhere with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
Prince William is returning to public duties for the first time since his wife's cancer diagnosis. It's 7:04. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. On Thursday, he visited a food charity and a youth center. William has been absent from official engagements ever since Kate Middleton revealed last month that she was undergoing chemotherapy for an unspecified type of cancer. Rite Aid is closing 5 more Ohio stores as part of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy. One of those stores is in Massillon, another is in Lakewood. Other Ohio stores impacted by the most recent round of closures include Warren, Toledo, and Waverly. Folks looking for service at the Warrensville Heights Social Security office on Miles Road will find themselves out of luck. The office says they are accepting appointments only until May 8th, and then they will close for 90 days. I'll have sports and weather in just a moment.
Moody Radio is thankful for King and Country.
But look around you. Your family, your faith, they're not in the way. They are the way.
From the creators of Jesus Revolution comes the true story.
It's going to be dangerous and scary, and giving up, it's not an option.
The story of one family's journey from down under to center stage. Unsung Hero, a For King and Country film starring Candace Cameron Bure and Terry O'Quinn. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. In theaters April 26th. More information available at unsunghero.movie.
In sports, the Guardians top the Red Sox 5-4, and the Cavs hit the hardwood tomorrow for the opening round of the NBA playoffs. The teams will tip off against the Magic at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for the first of a 7-game series. That's tomorrow afternoon. Here now is your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Cloudy skies. We'll see showers with a slight chance of thunderstorms this morning, and high temperatures should be around 60 degrees. At last check, light rain in Cleveland, 57 degrees. It's cloudy and 58 in Akron and Canton. Light rain in Youngstown, where it's 55 degrees.
It's time for your moron moment.
If you ever watched an Ohio State football game halftime show, You have seen the band march in a line and spell out the word Ohio. Script Ohio made its debut on October 24th, 1936, at a game between the Buckeyes and the Pitt Panthers. The Buckeyes won that game 7-0, and from that day on, the best darn band in the land tradition has continued. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 7:06. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcast.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
(7:11) on a follow-up Friday. This is WCRF, Mornings with Brian. In studio with us, Pastor Scott Lessing.
Hey.
Good friend of the show. He's prison campus pastor at Lorraine Correctional. There's a growing community of guys in there that listen to the program. Good morning, guys. Glad
Morning,
to have you with us.
Joseph Cornelius.
Have I met Cornelius?
Not yet.
I'm looking forward to that, Cornelius. It's a great name, by the way.
It is a great name.
Then you think about Brian and you go, what a disappointment, you know? It's like so regular. Sorry, Joseph's pretty regular too, buddy.
Right.
Sorry. So, and Scott.
What about Callie?
That's right.
Is that a regular name?
No, it's a beautiful name, actually. Oh, funny thing.
What?
Your daughter's name is
Hey!
Kelly. She's a senior in high school?
Yes.
She's listening right now?
Right now.
Kelly!
Yay, Kelly!
Kelly. She gets super embarrassed when her dad talks about her on the radio.
Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Kelly. Oh,
Yo!
your daddy loves you so much, Kelly. Pull over and he can talk to you quick. You want to say something sweet to your daughter?
Callie is awesome. And she's fire. Like she reminds me a lot of you, Lauren, actually. Like personality wise. Yeah. Like strong, you know what I mean? Doesn't let anyone push her around. Right?
Yeah, like Brian.
Except when I have a microphone and she's
Or
not
Dave
here.
Stransky. That's our coffee.
We have more Yada Yada Coffee completed. Thank you, Tommy from Yada Yada Coffee, for providing coffee this morning.
Boom, boom, boom.
Callie, you're the best.
She is the
Your
best.
dad loves you.
Yeah, I do, Cal.
He wants a big hug from his little girl.